So, welcome to the November Austin Adobe User Group meeting live on Zoom. We are recording this, obviously, for sharing on our webpage and YouTube at a later point. So, now in the chat pod here, for those who are present right now live, there is a link that you can register for the group. You become a member of the group as soon as you attended one meeting, and every year, actually twice a year, we have a big raffle. You know, in December and what is it? June
and December.
Yeah, where we have great prizes, or I mean, the greatest prizes here, free subscription to the Creative Cloud. So it's pretty good. You have to be present to win, and you will earn raffle tickets for each time you are present at these meetings. So, and the only way we can do this, because we used to meet face to face, now it was easy to collect the physical little, oh yeah, absolutely, Sherry, I see your message. I'll reach out to you. Okay, so anyway, so
let me just add that if you give a presentation, you get 5 tickets. So your chances go up, up.
Good.
And good. Also, this group's been in transition over the past 6 months or so, going into Zoom and that kind of thing. We may change the ground rules a little bit, because right now the chances of winning are exceptionally high if you come to the meetings. So
I like those odds.
And have to attend to win the prize. And also 3 of us already are exempt from the raffle because as co-managers, we get subscriptions.
So it gets even better.
It gets even better. Yeah. So spread the word. You won't lose your chances that much if you invite other people to this meeting. So anyway, please continue. And another thing I'm thinking is all this local group stuff, we probably want to mention it, but for the recording, maybe we just I might want to stop it and restart it for Carol's presentation. What do you think of that? Just so that they're separate recordings.
Whatever you think.
Okay. I'm just ad-libbing, you know.
And can you split them after the fact if you want? Or
yeah. Well, yeah, somebody could.
Somebody could. Well, I think we're ready to get started. And I'm looking very much forward to this presentation. That is Carol Gunn, graphic designer, Austin-based. Topic is right there on the wall, on the whiteboard, blackboard behind her. Portfolio
I have to sit really still so that doesn't happen.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You're probably going to show us your shared screen and everything. So without
I'm going to get off of this in a minute.
You can introduce yourself, I'm sure, and I'm looking forward to your presentation. So it's all yours.
Okay, thanks, Tom. I'm Carol Gunn. I'm a graphic designer in Austin, Texas. I've had my own business now for about 15 years, and a whole lot of years before that, I worked at newspaper, TV stations, just different places doing graphic design. First the old-fashioned way, and eventually got on a computer, and I've been there for years. So welcome to the presentation on how to create a portfolio website with Adobe Portfolio. Thanks for joining us. I created a previous version of my portfolio with Adobe Muse. I liked Muse really well because it was very similar to InDesign, which I've been using for years and was real familiar with. But Muse was highlighted for a year or so. I mean, they warned us. Then it was eventually discontinued and replaced by Adobe Portfolio. I was not happy about that after all the work I had done in Muse to create my website. But starting over in Portfolio was actually pretty quick and easy. Now that I've made a website with each of them, I can see why they made the decision to discontinue Muse, because Portfolio really is a better program. And there is a lot of it that works similar to Behance, if you've ever used Behance. Probably its best feature is that Portfolio is a template-based application, so you don't have to write any code. That's huge for me. I'm not a web developer. I don't want to be. I mean, I'm an artist, man. Probably its best feature is that Portfolio is template-based application. So, excuse me, did I just say that? Portfolio integrates with Lightroom, which is a great feature for photographers who already use Lightroom. I don't use Lightroom, So we won't be addressing that feature today. Luckily, they make it easy for you to upload images directly from your hard drive. Another good thing to know about Adobe Portfolio is that if you have a Creative Cloud subscription, even just a photography subscription that doesn't give you the whole Creative Suite, you're already paying for it. Plus the website you create with Portfolio will be hosted by Adobe. This is also included in your subscription. So why pay extra for another program to create your website or pay somebody extra to host it when all of that is included? I used to pay about $100 a year for a web hosting service, so I was able to cancel that when I started using Adobe Portfolio. And I have a hard time saying that, Adobe Portfolio. The only thing I pay for elsewhere is a custom domain name. I already had gungraphics.biz, so I was able to keep the same domain name when I switched from using Adobe Muse to using Adobe Portfolio. But if you don't wanna pay for a domain name, you can use the one that they provide for free. It's kind of clunky, but hey, it's free. A common question is, can I sell products from my portfolio website? Nope, it's not an e-commerce site, but you can include links to Etsy, Society6, or ArtStation, whatever that is. They don't have a way to create a link to Shopify, which is what I use. I need to figure out some kind of way around that, since I definitely want to drive traffic to my Shopify site so people can buy my stuff. Probably its second best feature, or tied for first actually, is that Portfolio creates a responsive web design that's optimized for any device, desktop, tablet, phone. With Muse, I had to resize and upload a whole nother set of photos for the phone version, so this would be better. So let's take a look at the Portfolio website that I created. I'm going to go to share my screen. That might take a minute. Okay, here we are. The first thing you see is my home page. You'll notice my logo, my name, and the name of my business. Over on the right, we have a navigation bar. This whole header is visible on every page. I've set the work page to be my home page or landing page, the first page you see. I've got 6 cover images, one for the different kinds of thing, one each for the different kinds of things that I do. The category names pop up on rollover. So if you're a potential client just looking for product photography, you don't need to look at illustration, but go ahead, look at illustration anyway, because it's the funnest one. When you click on a category image, let's click on graphic design, since that's my main thing. You see a grid of thumbnail images. Click on any of them to see them full screen. I can barely see my little X up there, which I needed to close that. So I apologize if that takes me a little longer than it should. Here, oh, that's better. Okay, so back on track. We'll click on an image to see it larger, to see it full screen, and then you can use the right and left arrow keys to navigate forward or back. When you get to the end, or if you've just seen enough, you can click the little X in the top left corner, close the window. Next up is case studies, where I share what I hope is an interesting story about the creation of a few of my designs. Like this logo redesign. We got away from the 90s era brushed metal into a more current flat design for EAR. Here's some branding guidelines. And here's a little story about how I had to make this brainstorm logo. And the only creative directive I had was no brains and no storms and make it bold. And I'd like to just say for the record that I created this Boost logo before Rocket Mortgage and their Rocket logo, so they stole that from me. Down here at the bottom, I've got a whole bunch of photos of my Love is Greater Than Hate design, which is so far my most successful and well-received design. So I wanted to write a little paragraph about how that came to be. Next, on the experience page, I have a kind of a conversational approach to a resume. I read some advice to make your resume a story. So that's what I did. And then I just sprinkled it through with the logos or icons of some of the places I've worked just to break up the text. I really have been lucky to work at some of these great places, and I continue to love the work I do. So my story is a love story. This also lets me leave out the dates and number of years I've worked, because God forbid anybody should figure out that I'm a person over 35 still working in the design industry. The contact page is right out of the box, pre-made. I didn't change anything, although you can if you want to. Next on the navigation bar is a row of social media icons that take you to my LinkedIn page, my Facebook business page, and my Instagram. These open in a separate window. Let's click on Instagram here. And it pops my Instagram page. And since they open in a separate window, that's good, so you can close it and the website is still there. It didn't go away. The most time-consuming part was collecting the images and sizing and formatting them. Let's go to Adobe Photoshop and take a look at this image. I sized my images. Let's see, image size at 1920 pixels wide by 1080 high at 72 pixels per inch. That's a good big size for seeing the images full screen. Portfolio will downside the images for tablet and phone versions, unlike Adobe Muse. So you want to make sure that you have saved this file in image mode and RGB mode. And let's go down to edit, convert to profile, and make sure this profile is sRGB, which mine is because that's my working profile. I'm gonna quit Photoshop now and let's create a page. Here at my desktop, I have two ways I can open Creative Cloud. One is here from the dock, and there's another little shortcut up here in the Finder toolbar. Clicking either of those takes us right to Creative Cloud. You could also go directly to portfolio.adobe.com. Adobe arranges this into desktop apps, mobile apps, and web apps. And Portfolio is a web-based app, so we'll go down here and open it. If you don't already have an existing Portfolio site like I do here, you'll just see this new site button. Excuse me, had a little glitch there. So we'll click on new site, and you'll see that it says that you can create up to 5 sites. So we have a choice of full portfolio or welcome page, which is just one long scrolling page. I'll choose full portfolio. Adobe Portfolio is a template-based website creator. You can check out the templates here. These are real-world examples made by actual creatives, not just some fake sites that Adobe made up. Some feature large photos, some are heavier on text. I chose Thomas. So let's choose Thomas, use this theme. One moment, please. Okay. So the first thing that's happened here is that Portfolio has oh so helpfully added some of my projects directly from Behance. So that's what's happening. I have a few Behance projects, but they're not the type of thing that I would put in a portfolio. I don't know why this is the default to import your Behance projects. So we can go to over here on our sidebar, go to integrations and turn this little Behance button off. Yes, please disable Behance integration and they all go away, poof. So first let's add a logo, an image. We'll upload that. I just happen to have one right here. Oh gosh, we've got it's cutting off a little bit on the side. Let's see if we can, yeah, okay, that worked. All right, let's add a page. You'll see it says add a custom subpage into a collection grid. That's when I roll over it. This is our collection grid here, this gray area. So we're gonna call this page graphic design. It's our destination is work. We want it to be on the work page and part of this grid. If you'll remember, the Thomas template had a grid of photos that took you to a subpage when you clicked on it. So let's click on Create Page. Give it a name, graphic design. On the sidebar, we can edit the text globally. Let's see, site-wide. There we go, background colors and fonts. Nope, that's not it. And I tell you what, let's skip that for now. I'm not exactly sure where it is that we can change that font. So let's address that later. Sorry, here I seem to have gone backwards. Okay, so on our graphic design page, let's add a photo grid. We're going to upload some files from my hard drive. We'll choose this folder, graphic design. I have a lot of images in my portfolio, maybe too many. You guys let me know. If you think any of the images are bringing the whole thing down, then please just let me know. Be brutal, I can take it. You can see how I organized let me go back a step. You can see how I organized these files into folders for the various categories. Like I said, that was the hardest and the most time-consuming part. So let's go back to graphic design. And we'll just upload these files right here. That should just take a minute. Under the photo grid, we'll choose Edit Grid Style. And limit these images per row to 4 images. That gives us 2 rows of 4. I picked these 4 images because they're mostly roughly the same size, except for the Women's Right poster right here. If this was my actual portfolio, I'd probably go back and edit that and make it the same size as the others so that they would look good. Some good advice that I've heard, but obviously did not take, is that it's a good idea to limit your galleries to a specific number, since that forces you to take the worst one out before you add another one. Remember to start off with a strong image and end with a strong image, and to keep like images together. I don't think this first image is necessarily the strongest, so let's move some of these around. Go to this photo grid menu on the top left and pull down to manage images. So from here, we can move these around, and I'll take the eyeball because it's my favorite and put it up here. I'll take the eyeball. This is a strange thing that happens sometimes. It doesn't want to go into the first slot. So move to the second slot, and then, yeah, it's a weird thing. It happens. Actually, you'd be surprised how much that happens. And so I think this last image is a pretty strong image, the ham benefit. So I'll just leave that there. We're going to click on done and go back to the work page. Okay, let's choose a different cover image for this page. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to click and go there. I meant to pull this down very carefully and down to edit cover image. And I want to put my favorite one, the eyeball, right there. Okay. So that's better. Let's, I have in my notes to click on done up in the top right corner, but I don't think that is really available to us right now. So let's go back to work, to the work page. And make another page. I have 6 categories in my web work collection, but let's just do 2 or 3 here because we don't have all day. Let's do one for illustration. We'll click on page and give it a title, illustration. We want to add it to the work page, and then we'll hit create page. You want to add a photo grid, upload files, go to the hard drive, back to the illustration folder, which is right here. And these are my pre-selected ones so that you don't have to sit through me adding 20 files. We'll upload those. Come on, come on, there they go. Okay, when we go back to the work page, we can change this cover image. I like the gyroscope. Isn't that cool? Yes, I think it is. So let's just do one more. Add a page. We'll call it photos and photo manipulation. I apologize for making you watch me type. I know that's really boring, but there's not too much I can do about it. Okay, we're going to want that on the work page. We're not checking make this my home page because we've already got the work page set as our home page and we don't want to mess that up. So create page, add a photo grid. You're kind of getting the pattern now. See, this part goes really quick. And upload some files from the no, I do believe I'm in the wrong folder, which is why I couldn't find that. So we'll upload some files from the photos and manipulation folder, the ones I've selected in here. Select all and upload. just some very random images. So now we'll go back to work, the work page, and change this cover image to the monkey. I like the monkey. I mean, everybody likes that monkey, except those of us that remember being a little freaked out about it when we were kids. I'd like for this page to just have 3 columns. You'll see, I don't know why this is. When we preview it, it looks like it's, yeah, like you can see me putting my hand up here, right? I'll do it with the mouse. Here's the edge of our page here, and there's like an empty space. Oh gosh, I'm having a hard time getting out of this preview. There it is. Back to edit. So let's go to our handy sidebar. We don't want site-wide, we just want this collection. This is a really tricky one. This collection to page covers, to layout options, to columns. They make that one really, really hard to find. Okay, so far so good. Let's add some other pages. We'll click this big blue button here. And this time we're just gonna add a simple page. We do not want it to go onto the work page. We want it to be up in the navigation bar like work and contact already are. So we'll click on navigation and click on create page. Oh gosh, didn't give it a title. Let's call it about. Navigation, double check that's on navigation or else it's gonna add it into your home page and you don't want that. So create page. Now we can start adding elements to our page. Let's click on image and navigate to a photo that I have here in the About folder that is called Super Graphic Design Woman. We'll upload that. Oh gosh, that is big. So let's pull down this image menu, go to width, alignment, and margins, and scale that down a little bit. I don't think that's really the best way to handle that resizing. I'd probably go back to Photoshop and resize it there, or otherwise it might be slow to load. Okay, now let's roll over the bottom edge of the header until this little thing hides up. I really don't like it when they hide things from me, but there it is. We'll click on this plus and up pops some things that you can add to the page. You can add another image or some text, a photo grid, but we're done with photo grids from now. You could add a video here or some audio. I'm going to add some text. I'll say this is me. I'm so great. Blah, 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 blah. And return.
Are you always armed?
I beg your pardon, Tom?
I'm just curious. Do you always carry arms like that?
Oh, no, I don't always. As a matter of fact, I'm very careful to leave that at home when I go anywhere because I don't want to hurt anybody. You know, the really funny thing is that this is this X-Acto knife is made out of a Rubylith tube. There's probably nobody here except for Teresa Owen, who knows what Rubylith is, but it's something that we used to use in the old days. Okay, so now we've got work and about, and let's go to the contact page. Contact is a ready-made form, so that's easy. You can add film. You can add fields if you'd like. Roll over the top edge of the contact form. I'm sorry, that's the heading. We don't want that. We want to edit this form and customize it. And say we wanted to add a new field. We turn this button on first. And this is kind of tricky right here. We'll hit this little gear to say edit label. You think they'd make that easier, but they don't. So let's make this a question and say, what is your West? That's pretty customized. That's done. And so now you see what is your quest down here at the bottom. I think we can rearrange those. Where in the world do we do that? Hold on just a sec. Is it under reorder page content? No, it's not. And it's not under customize. So let's look over here on the sidebar where things usually are when you can't find them. This page. I'm sorry, I just can't find it right now and it's not in my notes. So if there's time left over, maybe we'll go back.
Can you just drag and drop the fields? Would that work, you think?
Well, you have to go to a special place to be able to do it. And there you can drag and drop the fields. But I'm sorry, I just can't find the place. So let's move on. I'd like to add some of my social media sites to the header. So let's go back to work, and in the sidebar, we'll go to the site-wide settings, open up navigation, click on social icons, and I'll add my Instagram. And that's a really long URL, and I don't want to make a typo, so I'm going to go over here where I have it and just copy it from here. Copy and go back and paste it here. Return. So now you can see that Instagram icon shows up in our navigation bar. I can't click on it and go to it from here while we're in the program, but once the site is live, then that will work. So then you can continue to add any other social media you may have. Let's go back to work. And I'd like to move these around, these page headers about work and contact within the navigation bar. So let's roll up to the top edge and pull down to manage pages. See, this is how, if I could have found the dang place that you would move the fields around in the contact field. So go ahead and move these around here. I want work to be first. Ah, look, popped right up to the top. And then within the work container, I want graphic design to come first, and I want graphic design to come first. See, again, we're having trouble putting something on top of a list. It wants to put it outside of the work page, and I don't want it to go out there. So I'll just put it here in the middle, and then they take the top one and move it down. There's a pro tip for you. Don't know why that happens, but that's a way that you can get around it. Okay, I could probably go a little deeper in depth in some of these areas, but that's basically all there is to it. So let's publish our site. All we have to do is hit that big green publish site button. And our site is live. Let's go take a look at it. There we are. let's check out graphic design. And there's the small images that we put in there. Back to work, same thing with illustration. Back to work, same thing with photo manipulation, the fun part. So that should be enough to get you started. Any questions?
Yes. Well, first of all, this is Karen.
Hey, Karen, I think I need to stop sharing the screen now.
Okay, great.
If I can see where to stop sharing the screen. There we go. Stop share. I got it. Right up there on top on a big red button. Okay.
Well, first of all, that was just a terrific presentation. Thank you very, very much. It was so informative and it's an exciting program. It's so accessible to so many people in so many ways.
Pretty easy. I mean, I'd like that we did in like less than really like, I don't think it took a half an hour to go through all the, just loading all the files and then boom, publish and you got it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to give up web design and just do portfolio.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad.
It's a lot easier. Yeah, you did. I do have some questions, but I would also, from an administrative point of view, just like to ask everybody if they kindly put their video on so I can take a screenshot for our class picture for the meeting. And put your best smile on. So Cornelius, Sam, Sherry, great.
Hey, Cornelius.
Sherry and Sam.
Looking good.
Sherry and Sam, can you turn your video on if you're still in the room?
I don't think Sherry has video. We never get to see her.
Okay, okay. No sound, no voice. She's just a text entity. I think I got the picture. Thank you. And I'll just paste it before I forget to do that. But I do have some questions. I'm thinking of whether it's possible to have something like a magnifier. If you want to go in and see fine detail, can you zoom in on the images and show them larger than the screen? Or is that an add-on for portfolio that might do that?
Well, no, not that I know of. I did show how when you click on the small thumbnails, they go full screen. And that I think is as big as you can get them. I haven't seen anything about any kind of a magnifier.
Okay.
Which doesn't mean that it's not there. It just means I haven't seen it.
Okay. And is there any way of showing higher? I know on the web everything's 72, but do you know anything about high resolution screens or pictures? And is it also possible for people to download anything from the website? Is there anything to protect the files? Other than, I mean, they can always take screenshots, but.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to the question about are they able to download? I think I saw something, but I just can't.
I mean, if you wanted to give them something, as part of a take this sample of my work kind of thing.
Oh, if they wanted a sample, they could ask me.
And of course, I assume you could also put links on the text?
Yes, you can.
Great, okay.
Yeah, when we get into building a page and it pops up with all the different things that you can add, a photo, a text, video, you can also add a link. Yeah,
so you could link to a PDF.
Shopify link. Now, I suppose you could link to a PDF.
I just tried real quick to go to your page, Carol, and you can right click and download the images.
Download, yeah.
Yeah. So unless that's something you can under settings, maybe you can go and disable that. I think that's like it's on by default.
Okay.
And
yeah, I'll check into that. I really don't know the answer to that question. Oh, and Karen, back to your question about high resolution. I don't know a lot about retina displays, but I think they want like twice as high resolution as that 1920 by 1080. That's my standard size, so I just use that size all the time for web stuff. And
me too.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really know how many people with retina displays really need to have that any bigger. So my answer to that question is also, I don't know.
That's fine. I just have a client who wants high res, his image is very high res and for people to see the details. So
I think you're pretty safe if you go for 4K, which is exactly what you said. If you multiply by by 2 and 1920 by 1080, you will get 4K, and that should be good for a long time at least. So.
You know, I was worried that those might take a long time to load.
Well, bandwidth.
But you can see these went pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of just boom, 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 progress bar for a little bit, but then they were right up there.
In a year, we all have 5G, so I mean, who cares about download times?
I reckon. So Teresa Owen, did you know what RubyLith is?
Yes, I do. my grandfather and my dad were both old school strippers in the printing industry, and
strippers.
I know about that Ruby.
Yeah. That hold on. Be right back. You'll probably remember the sound this tube makes.
Wow.
Bonk, 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 bonk,
That's so
bonk.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's just a regular tube that's covered. It's spray painted, actually.
That's really cool.
I need my guy like Stephen Colbert to catch things when I throw them. Uh-oh.
Well, I have a question for you.
All righty.
Okay, so I need to create a portfolio online. So you usually just do images. You don't like do any blurb about, you know, the customer or any, you know, any text talking about what you did for them.
I have some of that on the case studies page.
Okay.
Some short paragraphs.
I guess
I just have 3 case studies there. Yeah, I like it when other people do that. I like to see what's behind their design process and why they made the decisions that they made. So I put a little bit of that on my case studies page, and I just hope other people will think it's interesting, because I think that's interesting when other people do it.
Okay. I guess I've been intimidated thinking I needed to put like what the project was and all this, and I could just put images. That's not that intimidating. I mean, you know.
Yeah. Well, you saw
You
how
can
easy
start
it
with
was.
images and
Like I
slowly
said, the
add
hard part
stories
was
as you think of them.
I'm sorry, Karen?
I'm sorry, I was just going to say you could start with images and then gradually add stories about each one as you think of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't know how much people really read.
Right. True. Yeah.
So I like
inspires me. I might get one going and get a good portfolio going.
So Carol, what would your advice be for a beginner here? In this context, I regard myself a beginner. I don't have a portfolio online at all. I don't do Instagram.
Me neither.
I have at least to get started, I will have quite a lot fewer projects. Fewer projects to include in the portfolio. I mean, maybe only 2 or 3. I mean, would that be worthwhile to?
I think it'd probably be better than, I think I have too many. Yes, Karen?
I just have a suggestion for Tom. Knowing that you've written books on how to use different Adobe products, you might just display the covers of those books and some inside pages and a few paragraphs of text explaining what those projects were. So this becomes your portfolio of your publishing history and any reviews or comments that people had. I think there might be, is there any way of putting testimonials on a portfolio?
Well, you can probably add them manually, like in text frames or something.
Yeah, you know how I said the experience and about pages, you could do a page testimonials. Then when you're building the page, just keep adding more text fields. Does anybody use Behance at all? No?
Never got to that.
People? That's the same way Behance works. It gives you those little, just click on these little icons to add some text or a photo or a video, whatever. So it's the same, and it's really pretty easy to do. Tom, I think if you just jumped in there, it's pretty easy program.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it seems so, and it's I've used template-based web page tools before. It seems so. I mean, pretty much similar, but
Adobe Muse was template based, but I had to do so much work because I had to do the photos in 2 different sizes because they wouldn't resize them for you. That was like my pet peeve about Adobe Muse.
And one thing I like here is the seam, at least it seems that navigation bar at the top is fairly automatic. It will be included in all the pages. And
yeah,
I mean, Muse didn't do that for you. You had to put them on a master page, right? So
yeah, just like InDesign, you'd put it on a master page. Yeah.
Anyway, it looks like an awesome tool. And was it complicated to link it to your custom URL?
No, I don't remember exactly how I did it because it's been a while. It's been about a year since I made the website, but no, it wasn't complicated at all. Well,
I assume you will have to prove ownership in one way or the other to the URL itself or the domain or something.
That's a good question. Well, I love this answer. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I tell my students. That's what I tell my students too. I reached the age now. I'm perfectly comfortable with answering a question with I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of things, you know. I don't have to feel bad because I don't know one thing because I know a whole lot of things.
That's awesome. Very good.
All right.
Yeah, and this is inspiring. I think I'll get mine going.
Okay, well, if y'all have any questions, you know, just shoot me an email or a text or call me on the phone.
And how can you be reached, Carol?
gungraphics@austin.rr.com is my email address.
We can go to your portfolio and fill in the form, can't we?
There you go. You can go to the contact form.
Speaking of that form, what if you no longer live in Austin?
You mean like what if you're...
Can I be part of the group if I'm not in Austin?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Oh, yeah, we were actually decided we were worldwide.
We're international, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Now that we're on Zoom, people can come from anywhere in the world.
Right. The only thing that you have to do to be a member is you have to tell 10 people about these meetings.
Yeah.
That should be a requirement.
When I was in Berlin, I didn't check in on Tom's presentation. Sorry, I missed that, Tom, but it was like the middle of the night over there. But you know,
one of the nice things is that all these
people can join from anywhere.
Yeah. And all these presentations are now being recorded and put up on our YouTube channel and on the AustinAdobeUserGroup.com website. And so you can watch them anytime.
Okay.
And also if you give a presentation, then you get that notoriety as well as 5 raffle tickets.
Wait, isn't notoriety a negative thing?
Fame.
Fame.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to stop the recording at this point and thank Carol.
I probably should have shut it a while ago.